afternoon. This is a special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Cignal TV's One News, Radio 5, and 1PH. The government has already provided cash aid to 6 million families affected by the COVID-19 crisis. That's according to the fifth report submitted by the President to a Congressional Oversight Committee on the implementation of the Bayanihan Act. However, that's only a third of the 18 million families that are supposed to be helped by the Bayanihan Act. And joining us for this story is Mian Los Baños. Mian, anong story dyan?
Bok, talagang maging mga senador, no, sinasabing mabagal itong pagbibigay ng ayuda ng ating gobyerno para doon sa mga pinakatinamaan at pinaka-naapektuhan itong ECQ. Dahil sa huling report nga na isinumite ni Pangulong Duterte sa Kamara at sa Senado, lumalabas na higit 6 million poor families pa lang ang nakakatanggap ng ayuda mula doon sa total ng 18 million targeted beneficiaries. Yan ay kahit pa isang buwan na naipasa ng Kongreso itong Bayanihan Act. Idinitalya sa weekly report ng Pangulo na isinumite sa Kongreso na halos hindi gumalaw ang dami ng mga nabigyan ng ayuda sa mga pamilya na beneficiaries din ng Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program. Sa 4.4 milyong beneficiaries ng 4Ps, nasa 3.7 milyong pamilya na ang nakatanggap ng ayuda, habang mahigit 2 milyong pamilya na ng non-4Ps recipients ang natulungan ng DSWD. Bukod pa dito, ang higit 40,000 na pamilyang kumikita sa mga transportation service sa Metro Manila na nakatanggap ng ayuda. Sumatotal nga, higit 6 na milyong pamilya pa lang ang natutulungan mula sa target na 18 million families o katumbas yan ng isa sa bawat 3. Kung titignan naman natin sa pondo, sa higit na 100 billion pesos na nakalaan sa DSWD para sa Emergency Subsidy Program, nasa 16 billion pesos ang napunta sa 4Ps members, 14 billion pesos ang nasa non-4Ps at higit 323,000 pesos naman sa TNVS at PUV sector sa buong NCR. Ibig sabihin yan, Bok, out of 100 billion ay higit 30 billion pesos pa lang ang may napaglalaanan. Pero na-download na o nailabas na ang halos 97 billion pesos na pondo. Para sa mga beneficiaries na hindi kasama sa 4Ps ng gobyerno, sinabi rin sa report na may nakapagbigay na ang gobyerno ng pondo sa may halos 1,500 LGUs. Bukod sa Social Amelioration Program, naglabas na rin ang higit 104 million pesos ang DSWD na pantulong sa mga nangangailangan ng COVID-related medical at burial assistance, kasama na ang mga stranded nating kapatid na inabutan ng lockdown. Bok, pinaalam din ng Pangulo sa Senado na naglabas na ang gobyerno ng higit 40 billion pesos para sa COVID-19 response initiatives ng mga LGU. At para naman sa mga negosyong humihingi ng financial aid, ito yung mga small businesses, halos 200,000 na small businesses na ang nag-qualify na tumanggap ng ayuda. Nasa higit 6,000 small business employers na ang nakakumpleto ng application process. Inaasahan, Bok, unang tranche ng tulong mula May 1 hanggang May 15, pangalawang batch naman May 16 hanggang 31. Samantala, may halos 1 milyong pamilya namang nabigyan na rin ng cash aid ng Agriculture Department at Labor Department. Bok, sa loob ng report na ito na isinumite ng Pangulo kagabi, ipinaalam din niya sa Senado at sa Kamara yung kanyang desisyon na extend nga itong enhanced community quarantine sa mga high-risk areas gaya ng NCR at yung mga kalapit na probinsya. Habang GCQ, yung doon naman sa mga low at medium risk areas. At sa loob daw ng linggong ito, ayon sa Pangulo, ilalatag ng national government yung guidelines, yung malinaw at detalyadong guidelines na ipapatupad sa ilalim ng GCQ.
Bok, so lumalabas na dun sa 18 million families na target na mabigyan ng ayuda nitong Social Amelioration Program. Meron pang mahigit 11 million families o yung 2/3 nga na hindi pa nabibigyan. Papasok na tayo sa pangalawang buwan, di ba? First month pa lang dapat ito pinag-uusapan natin And we're already going to the second month and you still have 11.3 million families to be given assistance or relief to. Anong sabi ng mga senador? Are they happy with the pace? How do they react?
Wala. Desmayado yung mga senador, Bok. Tama ka. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan nga at sinasabi ng mga senador, dapat yung second tranche na, yung papasok ngayon, yung ibibigay na ayuda sa mga kapatid natin. Pero ang sinasabi nga ni Senate President Soto, ang mabagal talaga yung nasa baba, meaning LGUs. Kasi 97 billion out of 100 billion na pondo ng DSWD na ibaba na sa mga LGUs And sa mga nababalitaan natin ngayon, marami pa rin mga LGUs. So yung nandun pa lang sila sa pirmahan ng form. So mapaproseso pa nila. Mukhang problema talaga yung listahan. Kahit si Senator Tolentino, siya rin mismo sinasabi niya napakabagal at ang gusto nga niya, rekomendasyon niya, sana daw i-activate na yung mga rural banks para yung mga sanglaan, baka daw pwedeng doon na ipadaan yung tulong. Pero ang problema nga, yung malinaw na database at listahan ng mga pwedeng tulungan o beneficiaryo nitong SAP. Bok?
Pero Bok, also a point of interest din, yung malaking portion ng mga nabigyan na mga 3.7 million families are yung 4-piece beneficiaries. Ibig sabihin, dati na silang buwan-buwan tumatanggap ng pera, so you'd assume na mabilis na lang yung padala ng pera sa kanila, pero hindi pa sila nakukumpleto hanggang ngayon. I think that's 3.7 million families ang nabigyan dun sa 4-piece out of 4.4 million 4-piece beneficiaries. So kahit nga yun, hindi pa nabubuo. Plus yung 2.4 million, more or less, na non-4-piece.
Opo. Tama, Sir Ed, kasi kinonpare ko yan, di ba napag-usapan din natin to last week, na parang ang medyo malaking accomplishment talaga ng DSWD, yung 4-piece. Kasi sila daw yung may mga ATM na, tsaka kilala na talaga sila, so madaling bigyan ng tulong. Kaya nagtataka rin ako dito sa report na pumasok kagabi, bakit halos hindi gumalaw? Dapat supposedly, yung 4.4 families man lang, lahat yun solid, meron na Pero hindi pa rin sila lahat nakakatanggap. Ang medyo umangat, yung marami, yung non-4-piece, which is 2 million, sila yung talagang medyo mas marami-raming nabigyan. But still, malayo pa rin sa 18 million families, Bok.
Okay, maraming salamat, Mian Los Baños. The President has floated the possibility of a modified community quarantine in the country. This could mean that some key sectors may resume mild operations, which can pump some economic activity. Maricel Halili with the story.
As the government enforces the extension of the enhanced community quarantine in select high-risk areas, including Metro Manila, President Rodrigo Duterte has said a partial reopening within the country may be on the table soon. During his post-IATF meeting speech last night, the president hinted on a modified community quarantine to get certain sectors up and running and prevent prolonged non-activity in the economy. However, Duterte warned the process must be meticulous.
We might open partially construction workers and things like that. You wait for lalabas na yung modified. Kaya modified muna Kasi kung magsiksikan kayo dyan sa LRT na naman, wala nang katapusan ang problema natin. It will never end.
Several groups had earlier pushed for a mild resumption of some industries like construction and transportation through an on-demand basis and only in low-risk areas. Currently, the government is still trying to increase its testing capacity and has yet to pinpoint if infections have peaked. Accreditation for additional testing centers is still ongoing, while procurement for protective equipment for frontliners is in place. The president also ordered the Food and Drug Administration and the Department of Science and Technology to operate 24/7 amid the pandemic. He says positions in these two agencies are open for volunteers.
We are not operating under normal battle conditions, sabi ko. We are operating in a crisis. Kaya sabi ko for the FDA and yung kay Boy, Secretary sa DOST, magdoble sila ng tao.
In the same speech, Duterte noted the country's economic resilience amid the virus outbreak, saying it managed a fairly high credit rating despite an ongoing health crisis. The president attributed this to what he says was an early lockdown implementation. Recall that earlier in the year, Duterte downplayed the impact of the coronavirus disease and refused to call for a travel ban against China and other administrative states.
Yung iba nagbagsakan na. And because, bala mo bakit? Kasi naniwala kayo, yung iba kasi late nag-lockdown, yung iba kung ano pa, tayo sunod kaagad sa batas.
Duterte also breezed through issues with communist rebel groups, saying peace talks are no longer on the table. In a previous speech, Duterte threatened to impose his own kind of martial law, citing lawlessness sparked by the members of the New People's Army.
There is no more peace talks to talk about. I am not, and I will never be ready for any round of talks. Kasi simply the NPA, the Communist Party of the Philippines, has no respect either for their spoken words or in their deeds of killing soldiers who are on humanitarian missions.
For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
The World Health Organization warns that the coronavirus pandemic is far from over. The WHO is concerned with the impact of the health crisis on poor communities or poor countries as governments continue to focus on battling COVID-19, leaving less attention to other health aspects such as immunization for children. The organization says shortages of vaccines against other diseases were reported in 21 countries as a result of border restrictions. It warns that the number of malaria cases could double in sub-Saharan Africa.
Children may be at relatively low risk from severe disease and death from COVID-19, but can be at high risk from other diseases that can be prevented with vaccines. Vaccine Alliance has estimated that at least 21 low and middle-income countries are already reporting vaccine shortages as a result of border closures and disruptions to travel.
We will pause for a short break. Our special coverage on the COVID-19 pandemic will be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Cignal TV's One News, Radio 5, and 1PH. The Marikina City Government is partnering with the Philippine Red Cross for the testing of its COVID-19 specimens. This while the LGU awaits the final accreditation of their own testing laboratory. Reporting live from Marikina, we have Greg Gregorio. Greg.
Bok, nakipagkasundo na nga ang Marikina Local Government sa Philippine Red Cross para makapagsimula silang makapagpadala doon ng kanilang specimens at maisailalim naman sa COVID-19 testing simula sa Lunes. Ayon mismo kay Marikina Mayor Marcelino Teodoro, ang hakbang na ito ay napakahalaga habang nakabinbin pa sa accreditation itong Marikina Molecular Diagnostic Laboratory bago sila mabigyan ng certification for independent COVID-19 testing. Sa ngayon kasi ay magsasagawa pa lamang ng runs ng testing ang kanilang laboratorio para sa ikalawang panel ng specimen na natanggap mula sa RITM. Sansure test kits ang kanilang gagamitin dito alinsunod na rin sa direktiba ng RITM. Umaasa silang hindi na makita dito yung amplification na lumabas noon sa graph analysis ng unang panel na isinailalim ng Marikina sa COVID-19 testing. Nauna nang sinabi ni Health USEC Maria Rosario Vergere na pinagamit sila ng test kits na siyang gamit din ng RITM para malaman kung ang naging problema ba ay ang ginamit nilang test kits na dinevelop ng UP-NIH o nasa proseso ng testing ang problema. Kumpiyansa naman ng FDA na wala sa locally produced test kits ang problema dahil walang lumabas na ganitong problema noong sumailalim pa sa accreditation ang test kits. Katunayan, lumabas pa nga noong very high o more than 90% ng sensitivity, reliability at accuracy ng test kits na ito. Hindi naman daw susukuan ng Marikina ang pagpapa-accredit ng kanilang laboratorio dahil napakahalaga daw nito sa pagsasagawa nila ng mass testing. Sa ngayon, pending pa rin sa Stage 4 o Proficiency Testing ang Marikina Laboratory sa ilalim ng 5 stages accreditation process ng RITM. Bukod naman sa ipagpag-partner sa PRC, sa ngayon ay nagpapadala daw ng swab samples ang Marikina sa Lung Center of the Philippines, RITM, at maging sa ilang private COVID-19 laboratory certified laboratories para makapagsagawa nga ng testing sa kanilang specimen. Sa ngayon, mayroon nang naitala ang Marikina na 103 COVID-19 confirmed cases. 18 naman ang nakarecover na sa sakit at 18 din ang naitala nilang COVID-19 mortalities. Bok?
Maraming salamat, Greg Gregorio. In Consolacion, Cebu, Star Wars Stormtroopers are manning checkpoints to help ease tensions while strict measures are being put in place. Volunteers from a group calling itself the 501st Cebu Scarif Garrison wore costumes instead of PPEs while helping authorities stationed at entry points. Scarif is a fictional planet in the Star Wars franchise. Aside from checking temperatures, the group also distributed free meals to frontliners in different locations across the province. And that's the latest on the enhanced and expanded community quarantine. For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Ed Lingao. We throw you back to Malacanang's virtual press conference on the COVID-19 crisis.